Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Happily Ever Caffeinated, your weekly wedding video series where we get stupid high on coffee and talk about weddings. I am your host, Pavel Stehlik, co-founder of Photo Bohemia, and I'm here today with Matthew from A Fine Press. And we are going to be talking about personalizing your wedding. Let's do this. So, I would like my wedding to look like every wedding I've ever seen on Pinterest. Can you make that happen for me?
I can, but I won't.
Yes!
Absolutely
okay,
not.
But I also, how do I make it personal? How do I make it? There are so many things I like.
Right.
How do I define my style? Says the bride.
Says the
who's
bride.
Actually a photographer.
Exactly, yes.
You can pretend that too. Yes.
I hath met my enemy, and my enemy is Pinterest. Pinterest is a tool.
It's such a tool. Oh, sorry, is that not how you meant it?
No, that can be used for wonderful things. Unfortunately, most brides, most couples use it for the exact opposite reason. They just pull a bunch of crap from other weddings. And that's super cool if you want your wedding to look like everybody else's. But we're in a whole new place. Okay, it's been over 10 years since I was married. We were young. We had a wedding that looked like everybody else's. It wasn't Pinterest. It was just what we saw.
Did the internet exist?
The internet
back then?
barely existed back then. But it was what we saw with everybody else, and it was what was expected. And the cool thing about getting married today is there are very few expectations.
Yes.
And because we're able to connect and see what other people around the world are doing, we've all become a little more weird. We've all become a little more us.
Good.
Because we don't have to fit in with the people in our immediate area. We fit in with the people we find online who like some weird, strange thing.
We're global.
We're global.
I love
it's
it.
globalization.
Yeah.
And so a wedding is a chance to show off who you as a couple are. Like with my clients, I always try to tell them your invitation, I try to move them to a place where their invitation would read as theirs, even if their names weren't on them.
Oh, yeah.
If they showed up without their names, would their guests know that it was theirs?
Right.
If it wouldn't, why are they sending it? Like, why spend the money? You're already spending the money.
Right.
Spend it on something that looks like you, that feels like you.
So in your case, you'd have a little goatee.
I'd have blue glasses everywhere.
You'd have blue glasses.
Actually,
Oh,
you know
yes.
what I would do? If I were getting married today, I would send out field notes as my invitation. Because I carry one of these around everywhere I go. Quick
And
plug,
just
Aaron Draplin, send me more, please. Free, please. Sponsor me. No, I would totally
Have
send
that
these.
blinking
I
at the
know,
bottom.
right? I would send these because I carry one everywhere I go.
Nice.
And if my guests got this, they would know it was mine, even without my name on it.
Right.
Now, my wife doesn't take the field notes, so they wouldn't know it was hers necessarily. But
It's okay, he's
they
marrying
would know it was
himself.
mine. Well, there you
Yeah.
go. That's kind of weird. But there are opportunities at every stage of your wedding to make it yours and nobody else's.
Yeah.
Every tradition can get thrown on its head. You don't have to throw any of them on their heads. You can keep every tradition that you want, but do it because it's meaningful to you, not because you're expected to do it, not because you saw it somewhere.
Right.
You know, one of the things that I've seen, the phenomenon that's happened over the last couple months, is this geode cake thing.
Yes.
That, for those of you that haven't seen this woman, forgive me, I'm going to say her last name wrong, but Rachel Truffle made this beautiful geode cake for an industry event. It wasn't even for a wedding.
Right.
She made it for an opening of a friend's wedding boutique, or I forget what it was, but she made this beautiful cake. It made the rounds. It was on Huffington Post. It was on BuzzFeed. She was on the Today Show. Amazing exposure. And I knew the minute that happened, geode cakes everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, they're beautiful, but how many geologists are getting married in America this year? You know?
Nothing, no digs against geology. Oh, get it?
We
digs.
love, haha. Yes, geologists get married too, but how many of them are there? There are probably fewer geologists in America than geode cakes this year, right? And so what's the point in getting a geode cake unless you really dig geodes?
Right, right.
Make a cake, get a cake made that represents you in some way.
Right.
And so for me, like literally, the only point where you have to stop is if it's not loving your guests.
Right.
If you do something that's like disrespectful to your guests, okay, that's one thing. If you've got a bunch of old grandmas showing up that might be a little scared by loud music, maybe your processional shouldn't be something too crazy. Anthrax. But if it's loving to your guests, if it helps bring them into your community,
Yeah.
there shouldn't be many rules anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Paul and I eloped in
Okay.
the Keys. That's how we got married. And I am addicted to Breyer's natural vanilla ice cream with the little beans in them.
Totally reasonable thing to be addicted to.
And it's hot in the Keys.
Yeah.
So instead of having a wedding cake, we did fruit salad and a scoop of Breyer's vanilla ice cream on the side.
How cool is that?
Best thing ever.
How
Super
cool is that?
simple. Delicious.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think it makes a ton of sense. And so for me, it's 100% about injecting as much personality as humanly possible into every piece that I do for my clients and trying to get my clients to see that as the way that they plan their whole wedding.
Yeah. And I know that we haven't talked about this, but I'm like, I'm constantly distracted. What are those and why, how can I get them? What is that?
Yes.
It's like, I see that, I'm like, squirrel.
This
What
is
this?
squirrel.
Squirrel.
This is actually the case for an invitation I did.
Really? Can you show?
I will. I'm going to show them both of them because check this out. They're actually posters. They're laser engraved wood posters. Can you do it? There we go. All right, laser engraved wood posters.
Do the Vanna White.
I know, right? And this was actually a solution to how in the world do I mail a concrete wedding invitation?
Is that concrete?
That's concrete. It's cast concrete.
What?
Yes.
How much is postage for this?
It doesn't matter when you're spending
They don't
concrete money on invitations, right? So it takes a
so cool.
It takes a special couple to do concrete, but like if you really dig industrial furniture, if your house is concrete floors and
You're like,
and you know,
This is the foundation of our wedding. Get it? Foundation?
ooh, she's punny today.
I'm very punny. I love this. How did you print on
Screen
this?
printed. It's just screen
Really?
printed on cast concrete. It took 5 or 6 iterations. This is actually one of the earlier iterations, which is why it's cracked, because it was.
I'm actually going to take a picture of it
Check this out.
so I can post it so people can see better.
Yeah.
Because that's amazing.
So it became a question of how in the world do we ship them?
Yeah.
And I thought, well, what are we going to do? Might as well make something that the guests can keep as a
Stop
keepsake.
it.
So that becomes your case.
That's amazing.
Put a rubber band around that, and you've got 2 posters and an invitation all in one package.
The mind.
And get this, you'll notice there's no date on here.
There isn't.
There's no monogram on here.
So they can use it for whatever they want.
Why is someone going to hang your monogram on
They're
their
not.
wall? No one's going to do that. If your favor has your name
Unless
and the
they're
date
really
on it,
creepy
unless they're
and
super
really like
creepy.
you.
If you can do favors or a part of your program or a part of your invitation that maybe relates to your wedding in some way,
Right.
but doesn't just scream, hey, this is our wedding,
Right.
then people might actually, you have a chance of it being a part of someone's life.
And as a photographer, if I was shooting a wedding that sent out an invitation suite this badass,
Right.
I would include that in the detail.
Exactly.
thing, like
That's,
it'd
I mean, you
be-
want people to be excited about it.
I love it.
It's kind of exciting.
I absolutely love this. You are incredible. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for infusing us with personality.
I try.
As
I mean,
your cold brew
everyone
is
has
infused
them.
with orange, you are infusing.
It is. This is really
it really
good.
good?
This
it
is
good?
really good.
Yeah, I told you it's weird.
Oh
it's
my
funky.
goodness.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
could talk all day. He's fabulous. Matthew, thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you
so
very
much
much
for joining us.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Indeed.
Always question with the Q. Questions help us learn things new. Question marks are very cool, especially when you're in school. Always question when you try. You'll find who, what, where, when, why. Question marks are very fun. Let's break them down now one by one. One by one.
Indeed.